Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. This is the NgoVo Convo podcast. I'm Harrison, and I'm joined by Veronica.
Hello.
There.
I'm right
I don't
here.
have to worry about the mirror stuff. It's just, it's fine. You are the one that
It's
suffers.
fine. It's fine.
But we just both want an excuse to talk about anything that ranges from any animated comics. We kind of changed it up to like anything that entertains us now, right?
Yeah.
To widen it up.
Yeah.
It's more manga now recently. Because some would say we're like trying to... Sorry, I was trying to make a new intro and this is annoying. But we're cleaning up your backlog in a sense.
Yes.
It's not even your
Yes.
backlog. I'm forcing you to read this.
You
You
are.
weren't planning on reading this.
By force. This is a forced friendship.
We're alternating, and I'll explain a bit why we're doing this one, but some would say we're conversing.
Wow. Like NgoVo Convo, NgoVo Convo, logos above Harrison's head.
Right there.
I was still thinking about that awkward silence like 2 seconds ago.
Well, I'm trying. Yes, because I was trying to be like, oh, well, it's her backlog now, but is it actually a backlog? I'm being honest.
Yeah. That's true.
It's true. It's not like I was planning on reading like One Piece
Like
episode,
rereading, yeah.
But you
Yeah.
can watch every episode, Veronica. Did you know, on YouTube.com or listen to it as a podcast by searching up NgoVo Convo on your podcast service of choice?
Wow, we're everywhere. Anywhere. Everywhere.
But what's crazy, Veronica, is this video is sponsored by Olipop. But we'll get to that
Shocked.
later. It's fine. Shocking. But so this is episode 1 of our Dragon Ball review, manga review. Because, well, I guess it's up to Veronica if she wants to watch later. But we're kind of doing what we did with One Piece. But
Yes.
now I've flipped it to where I'm having her read Dragon Ball.
He's having his revenge.
Not really. I wouldn't say revenge. It's not like
he'll
this
have
is
it next
fully
year,
bad.
too.
Oh.
He's having his revenge.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Well, no, she's.
it's fine.
I feel like she wanted me to take the host seat for a bit. I think that's what we agreed on this year, right?
I was like, I'm done after a year.
But I think this kind of started because with Akira Toriyama's passing, it just kind of
Mhm.
like sparked like it gave me the idea of like just to like introduce Veronica to Dragon Ball. I know like everyone's like, oh, Dragon Ball Z, they're super, but I wanted to specifically show her Dragon Ball because I think
The original.
the original one is just to show like something like not like just I guess it's a quote unquote classic in a sense of like it's
Yeah.
just that old. Like I think it's a classic for a lot of like anime watchers and manga readers, honestly,
Hmm.
because it's just like from the 90s, and everyone always says like, oh, there's certain mangakas that always like took reference from Akira Toriyama. Like
I mean, he
I think
like
Oda
bred
and
Oda and like
like
Gege and he everyone
Yes.
loves him.
everyone calls it like yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why every time you see those, like, you've seen those, like, pictures where it shows, like, Goku and, like, let's say, like, Ichigo, Luffy, and, like, Naruto,
Yeah.
right? Because that's, like, the idea that,
He's pushing them.
yeah. So, I'm having Veronica kind of go through this whole series, and it's really funny because I don't think this will take us long, because One Piece is really long. And
He got the better end of the deal.
I wanted to give her exposure to something older, something like... Maybe like it could be outdated at this point. I want to see her point of view because I'm coming in with like rose-tinted glasses and I'm like, yeah, this was fun back then. Like nostalgic.
For
This
you,
is-
yeah.
Reading this, it was way more nostalgic for me, if anything, because I got.
Well, I mean, we both grew up with it. Like, I watched Dragon Ball as a kid, but
Yeah.
not like in like order. Like,
Yeah.
I would just watch like
if it's on or something, right?
if it's on, like a
Yeah.
couple episodes here and there.
Yeah.
So I've seen it. I know some of the memes,
Yeah.
but now I can finally connect. the
You know some of the
memes.
references, I
Yeah.
mean, it's like certain media that references them all the time. Like you see, like the Kamehameha, you see like all this
Yeah.
stuff, like Super Saiyan. But here, Dragon Ball is like just Kid Goku, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just gonna be talking about and it's funny because Dragon Ball goes by sagas, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't even say they don't really call them arcs because one, they're not that long. They're not long enough to me, but they're too short for a saga in my opinion compared to what we've been reading and watching now.
One Piece.
It's
One
definitely-
Piece has changed you.
It has, because look at us talking about a manga review.
I know that you're taking over.
It's great. It's great.
It's perfect.
So we're talking about the Emperor Pilaf saga, And that's chapters 1 through 23.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. I'm just making sure we read that.
Yeah.
And I did. So, and then for episodes, it's the episode 1 through 13. So
the episodes are shorter.
Episodes are shorter,
Oh, wow.
and I mean, everything's not too
anime,
bad, right?
yeah.
Like after you had me read arcs for One Piece, I'm like, oh, see, 23 chapters, that's not too bad. So we'll just kind of go from there. And I think just to make it easier, it's also old enough in my opinion. So if you want to read long, I just gave you those numbers, but we'll just go spoilers off the bat. But I'll ask you for actually, no. How do you feel like we should do this? Do you care? I think it's old
I don't
enough.
care.
Okay.
It's old enough. It's old
feel
enough
like
to where I think like everyone can reference
Has an idea.
back
Yes.
and has an idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not
cool.
like what One Piece where it's like ongoing and you're like, oh, if you haven't read here, like.
And that's also why I chose this, because it's completed.
Yeah. That's true. Not me choosing an actual ongoing manga and anime.
1,100 chapters later.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole thing is actually only, well, for
It's like
Dragon Ball, right? Dragon Ball
100 and,
specifically,
90 something.
194.
Okay.
And then this is interesting because then Z is actually a part of this whole thing, but Z and Super.
See, 194, that was basically Dressrosa. I'm giving you like war flashbacks.
Wano's 150, I think. Or no. Wano combined
Wano
was
combined
about
was, like,
this.
About this too.
Dressrosa is longer than Wano, I think, too. So, okay, that's fine. So, I guess right off the bat, did you have any, I guess, expectations going into this?
No, because one, like, my husband is a fan. Like, he enjoyed, like, you know, he watches it here and there. He knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like everyone around us has watched or read this, and everyone's like, oh, it's a classic.
I would assume,
you know, like, so I came in,
yeah.
I was just like, okay, it's gonna be like a classic late 80s, 90s, like, shonen.
And it's very shonen. Like,
Yes.
It is hyper shonen. And this is probably like one of the issues nowadays in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
But I think so. The other thing is, I think more people watched watched more Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yeah.
This is where if you look at the comments, people like say, "Oh, the Dragon Ball Z is like brain rot," blah, blah, and then you'll see the occasional comment of, "But Dragon Ball was fun."
Yeah.
Overall, like
Yeah,
you'll
I've
see
seen
that
those
occasionally,
comments.
like, "Oh, but you should like get into Dragon." So this is why I'm having Veronica do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense. Like, there is that expectation of everyone's probably seen this and or knows about it.
Oh, yeah. And I knew coming in, I would finally understand some of the memes. Finally. Because, you know, it's just kind of there on the internet, right? Because we're in, like, our internet age. So I'm like, I've seen the memes. I've seen the GIFs. I use them. I just sometimes don't get them. But now here I am entering in.
Yeah.
I'm finally getting it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the jokes. They're very outdated.
So
Very
here's the other thing
outdated.
I want to talk about is I will remember watching this more, and the thing is, the US version definitely censored a lot of stuff too.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Well, yeah, and I feel like Japanese like writers.
The translation
back then,
is also weird
yeah,
for certain things.
yeah, and I feel like Japanese writers back then were just like a little weird. I mean, they're still weird now, obviously, but like this was like probably like peak weirdness. This probably
Yeah.
the one other manga that I can reference kind of like this weird joke, like traumatizing era would be like Fruits Basket, because Fruits Basket was written in the 90s too.
Well, this is 80s, I think. This was like 80s.
It was like
something.
late 80s going
Yeah.
into the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it was like mid 80s, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of the jokes. I feel like
Or like what jokes, actually? Like,
kind of like the underwear jokes.
oh, yes. That is
Like
very
that's
so
weird.
it is actually like that was growing up. Are we talking about oolong? Like one thing was oolong and then one thing was Roshi.
I think it was the old man because that was kind of pervy to me. It because she's 16. I wouldn't say this if she was like.
But Japanese, if I looked into this at the time, and no, it's still a thing. Consent is 16. So like you know how like here it's 18, so that's why everyone happens to be 18, kind of. Kind of. I say recently. Well, actually no. Now it's like kind of in the mix. So.
Yeah, they count 17 as 18 now. So I'm like, oh, we're just rounding up now.
No, it's 16. Yeah, no, it's 16 straight up. So that's why I noticed that instantly. Actually, when we were reading, I'm like, oh, it's 16. Weird. Okay.
I find it weird.
But then I was like, I had to double check because I remember someone having a conversation about this. They're like, yeah, no, if you look at it though, it makes sense because they always have to say 16 off the bat for Japanese.
Yeah.
And that's still like the case. Too. That's still the case now. Like that is still official.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that. Oolong, especially at the end, I could see why that was like a comedic relief. Mm-hmm. I understand that. Like that was a comedic relief moment. But like everything before that, it could be a little iffy for me.
Right. So that makes sense. I think it is all dated. I still think Goku's character though still fits because he's that big of a country bumpkin that I'm like, all right.
He's just a little meathead. That's what he is. He's stupid. He is low-key stupid.
And welcome. This is where Luffy came in.
I know. That's what I thought about. I was like, wow. This kind of reminds me of Luffy a little bit. He's just kind of dumb, like walking around on his own.
Let's see. I'll kind of go through some of the stuff. So, like, I know we do, like, Goku gets introduced with Bulma. How'd you feel like that? Like, with that interaction, how was that? Like,
I thought that was hilarious because she was just like,
city girl.
Really a tail? Like, she's like, that's not a real tail. I found that so funny.
Did it throw you off that they straight up just drew like balls essentially? Like,
yes.
On Goku. Yeah. Well, like this is
normal. Like frontal, like.
This is normal. This is normal. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little weird. A little weird, but I guess it was normalized.
Yeah, it's normal. Like I mean, I feel like I've seen. It's like the this and then like the little in old and I feel like it's like this is old like date like way back, right? I feel like back then it was like not, but it also threw me off. I was like, oh.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of Jujutsu Kaisen, where Gojo drew the penis for Nanami.
That's exactly, yep. See,
and I was just like, oh my God.
It's just like universal, right? It's just at that point, oh, okay. But for me, it was fun to see how it's like city girl meets like country boy, and it's like, and he like actually has no idea anything about the world because his grandpa just like kept him there, like, and it was just like they just lived out in the country and it's just in the mountains and that's it.
And I like how they introduced Goku. Like he's just kind of like this like stupid kid that just likes to hunt. Mm-hmm. He just likes to walk around and hunt and stuff. He's really strong, like right off the bat. So I knew that was like a true shonen characteristic for Goku. I was like, okay, he's strong off the bat. He's stupid. He likes to fight.
Yep.
Yeah, their interaction was pretty funny.
Yeah. It was funny because then now they're trying to find the Dragon Balls because she just happened to, because that's the whole thing, right? She came to him because she had one, the 4-star Dragon Ball.
Yeah. And I like how Goku just casually kind of says he has one. He's like, oh, my grandpa like passed away, but like I have one.
It's his. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you I guess now it's like the whole journey of like just getting Dragon Balls, it's like kind of makes sense with the title, huh?
Yeah. We'll get it now. I sat there and I was like, I see what you did.
I guess there's a lot of in between. There's like this he meets, so now they go on this journey, right? Because he doesn't want to fully give it, but he needs the Dragon Balls. Now they meet a lot of people on the way. There's like right now I think this saga is a lot of introduction. It feels very sad.
Yeah.
And actually for me reading this, I'm like, oh, this is kind of like, okay, sure.
They meet a lot of people like on the way.
Yeah. So let's say like we met the turtle, who then inadvertently helps you introduce to the to Roshi.
Yeah, Roshi, the turtle hermit.
Yeah, the turtle hermit. Yeah. And then you have that interaction. this is where I did notice like there's certain jokes that it's funny in
You
the sense of like
shouldn't say.
context. Well, there's like the pat pat joke, and
Yeah.
she consistently is like, "Don't pat pat." He's like, "But."
I know. It was just like,
But as a kid, like as a boy that grew up around no one else, I can
you're
see
probably
where
just like,
I can see
okay.
why he's like, "This is a thing."
Yeah. I like how he's like, "Are you a girl? Are you really a girl?"
I've only heard about you in stories.
Yeah. And he kind of just like gives her a look, and she goes, "What's wrong with you?"
Did you find it funny how like I think the technology, right? It has the. Do you notice how like the world here is like there's actually some technology and then the animals talk?
Yes. Her technology is very like futuristic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
It's all capsules.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
cool.
No, that was really cool.
Sidebar. That was like because it's like funny to see like how he reacts because they're in the house and then like taking a bath
and
all
the
that,
car and
but, yeah, it's just fun to see all that stuff. But yeah, so we meet like let's just go down the list of who he meets because it is kind of like the plot points for that. It's just
yeah.
they're getting caught up, but like let's say like they go to the village and meet Oolong.
Which I
then
find hilarious.
You've been introduced to Yamcha and Par.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's the main ones. Oh, and then you get to meet
The Ox King.
Ox King and
like,
Chi-Chi.
Chi-Chi.
And then you get introduced to the Kamehameha.
Yeah.
Is there any part? Did you have any parts that like you found more interesting than others?
I really liked the Oolong arc for some reason. I found it very funny that it turned out that this scary guy is just like a little piggy.
He's just a little pig dude.
He's just a little piggy dude. But the reason why I like Oolong is because he's so sassy. Because every panel you see him in, he's side-eyeing Goku.
Yep.
Or someone. He's just like, what do you be?
He is the sass of the group. That is true.
Yeah. Or he's just like, I don't want to go with this plan. And then everyone's just like, you're going to die. And he goes, okay, that's fine. And then
he tries, he's like, that's fine. And he'll just like try to run away.
Yeah.
It's funny. I forgot that the plot point to keep him with them or stop him is like the whole like, she feeds him a pill.
Oh, yeah.
And every time she does like the whistle or like
the whistle
sound effect thing, he needs to go to the restroom.
Yeah.
I forgot that was a thing, right? Because at first I was like, yeah, what's keeping him from like staying? I don't get it. But now they're like,
I like how he's like, I'm leaving. I'm sneaking away. And then as he goes, he's just like, oh, I gotta go.
yeah. I think the fun part is like you start realizing like everyone could leave, but they all stay because Goku's actually strong enough to protect them, and they're already outside at this point, right? Like for instance, like Bulma's like, oh, I don't need to help you with the turtle, and then she looks out and she sees like a bunch of like dinosaurs and all that.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I guess I do have to go. Okay,
and then like down the line, she's like, Goku, go fight them.
Yeah. What do you think of Yamcha and Par?
Oh my god, they're so hilarious. They are so hilarious. He's just as stupid.
Do you
as
know?
Goku.
Do you know that there's a meme about Yamcha down the line?
No.
We'll talk about it later. It's fine.
Okay.
Maybe if we get to that point.
No, but Yamcha was just. I like how Bulma.
Yeah.
Bulma. I like how Bulma was like, I want a boyfriend. Yamcha's like, I want a girlfriend, but I don't like talking to girls because they give me anxiety and I can't talk to them.
I honestly forgot about that trope, and I actually did find it the most funniest thing that he's so strong actually. But then when it comes, it's the typical like, oh, I'm scared of women. Like essentially, like I can't talk. Like I'm anxious around women, and I just can't do anything. And that's like his legit weakness.
He has so much anxiety.
Yeah,
like he can't even like look at her in the face, and he like without stuttering. Like it's just
seeing it in the anime makes it so much funnier. Honestly, like I remember,
I bet.
Like I still remember all this stuff because I had this DVD and then the next one I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Par, and don't you find it funny how Par and Oolong went to the same school?
Yeah. I love how Par was like, you bullied me.
You bullied me, and now you get this.
You bullied me.
I forgot that too, actually, but
No, they're a
But
great duo. They're a great
yeah,
duo to like introduce early on.
because the entire time they're just trying to, and I love how it escalates from like trying to just steal from them, and then it's like, oh, now I know about the Dragon Balls. I'm gonna try to steal the Dragon Balls, and then he always gets like thwarted by like Bulma.
Yeah.
But then Bulma is like, oh, that hot dude. Like it's just,
Yeah.
it's that weird, it's that funny. Roads are almost about to cross, but it doesn't.
But they don't.
Yeah. So now, like, he's just following them because they're going to try to.
They're going to get like the.
They realize they can't steal it right away, but they're trying to like let him just steal or get all the Dragon Balls, right?
I think they were going on finding like the 6th or 7th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think the 6th was at Ox King's.
Yeah, the mountain.
Now that whole thing, what'd you think of that plot point?
Chi-Chi. I love her. But I just love how Yamcha's like, I'm not helping you.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy? You know what I also love, Veronica?
What?
Taking an ad break. Because I wanted to get you like going to start that, and I was like, you know what? I tried to stop you earlier, and I was like, oh wait, no, it's okay, it's fine.
It's fine.
Could interject, but we're gonna take a quick break to talk about our sponsor.
This episode is sponsored by Olipop, the soda your gut will thank you for. Yes, I'm talking to you, all of you. All right, have you ever missed that classic soda pop feeling? You know, the fizz, the flavor, but without the sugar crash. And the guilt trip. Yeah, me too, me too, me too, you too, Harrison too. All of us. That's why I'm introducing to you Olipop, the soda that's bursting with flavor and good for you too. I actually have my favorite one here, strawberry vanilla. But the other weird one that I enjoyed was banana cream. I know, it's weird, super weird, but this is my favorite. Number 1, because it only has 3 grams of sugar per can, plus it has 9 grams of prebiotic fiber. And you know what you need with fiber? To use the restroom. Hee hee hee. But yeah, that means that you're going to have a happy and healthy gut with every sip. And it looks like that they took everything we loved about classic soda and upgraded to a modern, healthy conscience person. Like you, like me, like Harrison. My co-partner. My co-host. That's not here right now. So ditch the compromise and experience the soda revolution for yourself. Don't forget to use our promo code NgoVo15 NgoVo15 to get 15% off your first order on drinkolipop.com.
And we're back.
Wow, we're back.
Wow.
I
hope you're
I love
refreshed.
Chi-Chi. Yes.
No, isn't Chi-Chi like... It's funny because if you know Chi-Chi from DBZ, I actually think she's so adorable in Dragon Ball. It's just really funny.
Yeah, she is adorable.
She's just like, oh, you're in love with me?
Yeah. She's like, you want to have a marriage with me?
And it's so funny, like, with like her age and Goku's age, they're about the same age.
I think they're same, yeah.
What their knowledge base is totally different.
Oh,
Goku's
yeah.
just an idiot, and he doesn't know anything. He's like, "What's that?" I guess your dad could give me whatever he wants from his hand, sure.
Yeah.
Or your hand, he gives me your hand. I don't know. You could just, I guess you could just give whatever. It doesn't matter. It's so.
He's so oblivious.
He is,
Goku
but
is
it's like
just so
he doesn't know
oblivious.
any of like the idioms or like the all that stuff.
Yeah,
so it's just,
yeah. What does he know?
nah. But I love how like, don't you love how like right now it's just kind of like these little connections, like
Yes.
all connecting to. So now we've learned. Were you surprised with the connection with his grandpa actually to Ox King and Master
Ox
Roshi?
King. A little bit. So
Yeah.
I didn't know that part. But I just like how everyone's so connected, and then down the line you kind of figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I think, good setup, right? To like introducing characters and like what you need to know about them. So I really like that.
Yeah.
I like how the Ox King was like, you know him? Where
And
is he?
And then everyone starts freaking out too. Like,
Yeah.
Yamcha's like, what? He actually, oh my god.
Yeah.
Or actually, early on, Yamcha figured out his grandpa, I think. Or at this point, I can't remember.
Around
also.
this point. Because
I
I
think it
think
was
they were
this point.
hiding behind like a
Yeah.
boulder.
Even
Yeah.
Oolong was like, wait, that's your grandpa?
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows who Son Gohan is. So
famous guy.
Yeah. And then they have to get the fan or something from Master Roshi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I get what your point is though, and as I was reading, because Veronica already complained about this early on, and I did
complain,
which is fine. It's true. It's very dated in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like Roshi being into like women, period. And I think
Yeah.
the thing is though, I think you'll get that exposure down the line that it's the Sanji effect. Sanji was birthed from this. You have to understand that.
No, I was actually thinking about Sanji
Yeah.
a little bit. I was like, this feels like
Because it is.
Sanji.
That is the trope. So when you said like, oh, it's like, because initially you were like, oh, it's pedo. I'm like, wait, he has no restriction.
Yeah, but I was also thinking about like he's like,
down the line. I was gonna say you'll see it down the line, and I'm just giving you now. Think of Sanji when you think of Roshi.
Yeah,
that's really what it is.
But Roshi is like a buff
he is
old
pervy.
man.
But he's a pervy old man.
Yeah, he is.
He's the pervy old man trope. I'm like, classic.
He's a buff old man though.
Oh,
I was
buff.
not expecting that.
Yeah.
I was like, how is this guy gonna be like a teacher?
Like,
and all of a sudden he's like,
what
cool.
can he do? Boom. It's like, oh. How do you feel about Goku learning stuff real fast all of a sudden?
I know. I was a little bit surprised, but it's also kind of just like fighting. So I think that's where he excels the most.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, oh, he was kind of just like, let me try this out, and he just did it.
Pew.
Yeah.
It looks like a little, but it's more like they're like, wait, that's supposed to take 50 years. What's going on?
And he's a 14-year-old doing this right now.
Yeah, and it's cool because Roshi is like, if you want, you can come to my island and I can train you. Because I like how Yamcha points out, he's like, this man has never taken a pupil, or in like decades, and now he's willing to take one.
Yeah.
I like how like I think what was nice about Dragon Ball is, they gave exposition, but it's like someone exclaiming it. It just feels.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It just feels like old. It feels kind of classic versus just having like a quick excerpt, but it's like kind of building up that knowledge over time, right?
Yeah, which
of, like,
I find really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think nowadays, like, that's where some mangakas kind of have trouble, right? Because they introduce like 20 people, right? And it's just like, here you go. Here's 20 people right off the bat.
Yeah.
I think this is nice where it's just like, oh, you meet one, like Goku, then you meet like everyone else, like slowly.
Yeah. And it's not saying that all new stuff does it, because I think there's some some anime and manga still do this well. Yeah. It's just like, it's now like me watching like other stuff, I start noticing this recently, and I'm like, oh, yeah, it feels like they're over describing stuff too.
Yeah. I
think that's the other thing is like, instead of dropping rushing little hints over time, it's like a rushing moment. It is One Piece style. Doesn't it feel like it does feel like that, right?
No,
and that's why we think One Piece is really good.
It's great.
So now I guess we'll just kind of go through the whole thing. Like, they get their Dragon Ball, and like Ox King's like indebted.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're trying to find the last one, and now we get introduced to Pilaf's gang.
God damn it.
So it's funny, we talked about this before, and you mentioned that because you watched some of this stuff, you're like, I thought you said you watched, what was it again? Yeah.
I remember watching Dragon Ball like early on as a kid. Like, it was just on TV on like Saturday mornings, like a couple episodes, like an hour or so. And I remember Pilaf being introduced earlier in the anime, because I remember seeing him, because I was like, what in the hell is this teal ass dude like being on my screen? Like, who is he?
It's like this teal dude with the old, like the girl, and then like the little Tanuki.
Yeah. So I was like, what the hell is going on? And then, because I remember that, and then while reading this, I was like, where is Pilaf? Because it's the Pilaf saga.
Yeah, and
right, it's at the end.
It's at the end, and I think the anime does it better because they drizzle them in more often. Because they're also looking for the Dragon Balls. They stole said Dragon Balls. Yeah. And now they locked them away, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, okay. I skipped one part, but it's kind of a small part. The carrot guy, the bunny dude,
rabbit.
the bunny gang.
Yeah, the
Sorry,
bunny
I
gang.
I skipped by accident. That was weird.
It
But
was a little
okay.
weird.
It
Yeah.
was just random. I forgot about him.
It was just like a pit stop
Yep.
before they went somewhere.
It was
Yeah.
essentially letting Bulma change clothes.
Yeah.
I feel
Into a
like
better
this is
style.
also introducing the trope of like the main girl in the group gets to change
Yeah.
outfits per location.
But not everyone else.
Yeah. Speaking of that, that's a lot. I felt like the Playboy one was the most random one.
Yeah. That was a little random.
It was
But
definitely
now
like
that I think about it, Playboy was popular in the 80s. So,
Yes.
like, I see the reference. I see the
Yes.
reference.
And yeah, that's for me. It
You
was
definitely don't have that reference now.
like because no one
No.
But see, like that's the other thing I wanted to like. I remember all these things, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing. I remember now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a trope, right? So
Yeah.
it was literally literally an excuse. Now we're just more upfront about it.
Yeah, we are. A
Like,
little bit.
That was probably the most fan service thing in a while, and then yeah, compared to the stuff today, it's funny. What'd you think of Pilaf and all his like this whole?
You know, he's just an evil dude.
That also happens to have a dragon radar.
Yeah, that happens to have a dragon radar. You know, he just happens to trap everyone.
And this is where I think the anime excels in that they kind of they don't just drop you into this guy and all of a sudden because he's like, oh, I'm stealing all this stuff, and it's weird because you're like, oh, but this is his saga, and I think we just title it that way at this point. But yeah,
but he was an interesting guy.
Yeah.
It didn't get too much into him. It was kind of like we got dropped into this. They got trapped, and then we kind of got into like the wishes, right? So
yeah. So like here he has all the Dragon Balls, calls in dragon, tries to make a wish.
Too slow.
Who saves the day? Who saves the day?
Ooh!
And what does he get?
An underwear on his head. A pretty girl's underwear, may I add.
And it's what's progressive? Is no one in that vicinity. It's just some random.
Yep.
Because nowadays it would be from someone.
Oh yeah, from that group.
Yeah.
But no, it was just.
Yeah, it was just random.
I love how Oolong was like, "Ooh, he's not saying it fast enough. Let me say something."
That's actually smart. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, "Oh, that's smart," because he's like contemplating. Pilaf is contemplating what he wants to wish. It was just too slow.
Yeah. But now they got locked away, and then now Pilaf's like, you will now suffer, because now apparently Dragon Balls, you have to wait a whole year.
Yeah, and now they're like spread out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now he's like mad. He's like, all right, you're going to bake in the sun. And what'd you think of the full moon story?
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I also did not know about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I read it, and I was like, oh.
That's the reveal, and you're like, oh, I love how they all connect the dots so fast, though.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, they asked him like, wait, so what happened that night? Because Goku being interesting, that there are certain things that he was told, like, don't look at the moon, don't look at the full moon at night.
Yeah.
And what he remembers is that, oh yeah, a monster will come out and kill you, like kill everyone.
Like kill everyone, yeah.
And they're like, wait, what?
And I think Yamcha was the first one to clock it because he was like, full moon.
Full moon.
He like looks up.
Monster.
He's like, oh no.
And he's like, wait, who killed your grandpa?
Yeah.
And I love how I think in the manga though, it kind of went too like they kind of jumped to it too fast. It felt kind of like assumption-y. Because I wouldn't have personally, I probably wouldn't have connected it right away.
Yeah.
But I'm also dumb, so who knows? But but it did feel kind of fast because they backed in the corner and they all of a sudden were like, wait, it's him. Yeah. I think in the anime they kind of do it a little bit better, but
yeah, it felt a little rushed.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to understand like why he can't look at like a full moon. Like it kind of jumped from Oolong wearing an underwear on his head
to
to Goku
turning to Big Monkey.
Yeah, turning into a big monkey.
Ape.
Yeah.
And destroying everything. And how did they fix that?
Just
Cut the tail.
cut the tail, which was Yamcha's idea.
I mean, it's
Because he
because
was alluding to
right?
that earlier too. He was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, why don't we just cut his tail?" That was
Yeah.
good foreshadowing.
Very good foreshadowing.
Yeah.
I mean, they focused on like the fact that his tail is his weak point, like legitimately.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I like Chi grabbing the tail to get up. That was adorable, by the way. I thought that was
Yeah,
cute.
it was. It was like,
And she just gets on. She's like, oh.
no, yeah, that was good.
But yep. So now they get out, and now they're gonna go their separate ways, and they don't need wishes anymore because apparently only Goku. It was cute because Goku's like, I guess we'll see each other again in another year.
A year, yeah.
To get our wishes, and both Yamcha and Bulma are like, we don't need wishes. What do you mean? Because we're into each other now.
We're boyfriend and girlfriend.
So fast.
So fast. They got trapped. That's why they had
That's
enough
why.
time to talk to each other.
He had enough time to. No, he just had enough time to just get used to talking to one woman.
Yeah. The one.
The one. But yeah, I felt like I kind of jumped plot points because it felt like it felt episodic, did it not?
Yeah, yeah.
Like each chapter felt like it
mini-
resolved something.
Yeah,
A
mini
chapter or two.
arcs. Yeah. Every
Yeah.
couple chapters.
Yeah, like Oolong section would be an arc. Yamcha's whole desert thing would be an arc. Honestly,
The rabbit mob.
the rabbit mob.
Pilaf. Yeah.
Overall, what'd you think of this saga? Out of curiosity,
Enjoyable.
enjoyable.
I can see
It's all
why
set up.
everyone else kind of like
Not yet. I say
mirrors him. But I
Wait.
see why.
Yeah.
Like,
oh
especially
mirrors.
setup
Oh
wise.
yes.
Yeah. But I know a lot of mangakas have references going back here. So I'm excited to see more.
Yeah. But otherwise, it does feel. I agree with you. It does feel kind of dated. But I feel like there's some parts that are like still fun. Like I think for me, my favorite thing in this saga is actually like Oxen Castle, like
Oh yeah.
him interacting with Chi, and like I think it's just funny how like the Nimbus Cloud being a comedic point is actually also great.
Yeah.
How pure heart they play on the pure of heart
Yeah.
part of it, and obviously Chi and Goku are pure of heart, and obviously Roshi is not.
So Roshi's just like, whoop, fell through
Can't
this.
use anymore.
Oh, I love Chi. I want to see more of her.
Yeah.
I need more of her fangirling.
Well, I think that's it.
I think that's it.
No, I think like I don't remember how much more you see. And again, this is great for me to remember because I don't remember how often you see certain people, right?
Yeah.
Because you
I
can
do
tell
enjoy
like
her,
they just went back to see Roshi, for instance, so they
Yeah.
can do stuff like that, right? So, but I can't wait. You're gonna go into the next part, and I think the next part is
More
the
stuff.
starting part where people start getting interested with Dragon Ball, and then I think
Ooh,
the saga
okay.
after is where people say it's like peak, or starting to get peak.
I'm ready.
Actually.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ready for more.
But I think that's all I got. Is there
That's all I
anything else you
have.
want to add? That's all you got? Cool.
That's all I got.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone. You can follow us on all our socials at NgoVo Convo and NgoVo Convo. If you're on YouTube, hit all the buttons from right to left. You'll figure that out. Subscribe is the big thing. Comment down below. What did you think? Did you read? Like, what were your thoughts on like Dragon Ball? Do you feel like we missed any points? Is Veronica wrong on anything?
No.
I'll ask that every time, honestly, for anything.
I'll be
that.
like, is Harrison wrong?
Yes, but I'm at least aware. But yeah, did you like this video? Just let us know down in the comments. Other than that, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.